Hi everyone, this is Alec from AJ Farms, and today I'm going to show you a different way and also an inexpensive way to do your seed starting if you like to start your seeds indoors. Usually what I like to do is use the double cup method, so I will take 2 red plastic cups, I'll cut holes in the bottom of one, like so, and then I will put that inside of another cup, so that way I don't get water all over my floors and I don't have to worry about cups not being balanced in trays. But another way that you can start seeds is by using either these greenhouse kits that you can get at big box stores, or if you want to save a little bit of money, you can make your own. You can use these aluminum foil trays that you can get. I got these from Walmart, so they weren't too expensive. And sometimes they will come with plastic lids, which is perfect in our case because if you put the plastic lid on top, let me move this out of the way. If you put the plastic lid on top, you can create your own little greenhouse. And that way it'll keep the moisture and the humidity and the heat inside to help your seeds germinate faster. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways that you can start with these peat pellets. Peat pellets are little compressed discs of soil, and what you do is you use warm water to make them expand. These are the smaller ones, so they'll expand up to 36 millimeters tall, I believe. Yes. So we're going to use these in our aluminum tray, and then we'll use the peat pellets that come with the kit in the kit. Okay, you'll have to pardon any shakiness I may or may not have. I'm trying to use a tripod for the first time, and I'm not quite sure how it's working because I don't have autofocus. But I now have my tray set up, and I have my DIY tray, and in this tray I'll be growing the large leaf basil, which this one holds 10 peat pellets inside. I don't quite need as much basil as I do, I would say, with the leeks, which I'm growing in the second tray right here. These seeds were actually really hard to find. I think I found them at Lowe's, but I looked everywhere, so leeks are definitely a little bit harder to find, but I'm hoping they'll do well. But I'll be growing, or hopefully getting 12 of those, but I'll be planting more than 1 seed in each peat pellet just to make sure that I get something sprouting in each one. But now that I have these set up, I have my warm water right here. So what I'm going to be doing is taking this water and pouring it very slowly into each tray because these pellets like to float a little bit and I don't want to splash any water everywhere. Alright, so to get these to expand, you'll add some warm water. And these take a surprising amount of water, so don't feel bad if you overdo it because you can always dump out the excess. And if you get your pellets kind of floating and flipping over like mine just did, you can either leave them till they expand, or you can scoot them over to make sure that they're expanding into their own spaces. So I'm going to fill the other tray with some water, and I will be back once these are fully expanded. Alright, I am back with my peat pellets. They are now fully expanded. I waited about 10 minutes, and then I dumped out the excess water. You might notice that when you fill them with water, you can kind of hear them crackling a little bit, so I waited till that sound stopped, and then I dumped out the excess water, and they're ready to go. Alright, so one thing before I start planting my seeds that you might notice is that the peat pellets have this netting on them, and sometimes the netting is still super tight around the top, kind of like with this pellet right here, but other times it'll be completely loose, and you just can go ahead and start planting like with this pellet. So what I like to do in that case is I'll just go in and open up these peat pellets a little bit, so that way I have all the space that I need to plant my seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing that, and then I will show you the seeds that I'm planting. Alright, so my peat pellets are opened up, and they are now ready to plant my seeds. So in this one, I will be planting our large leaf basil. And one thing that I like to do is I will take a toothpick and just kind of make little, not quite trenches, but I'll kind of separate the soil a little bit so I can plant a few seeds in there easily. Alright, now that I have my trenches, I will go ahead and start planting my seeds. So here are the basil seeds. As you can see, they are very tiny. So what I'm going to do is drop about 2, maybe 3 seeds into each peat pellet. I actually don't remember. These are... ooh. Alright, so I checked the back of the packet, and these seeds are 3 years old, or they will be 3 years old. So I'd probably put closer to 3 in each peat pellet, just to make sure that I actually get good germination. While basil seeds aren't typically too affected by age, as you get older, seeds tend to germinate less frequently or less often. So I'm going to make sure I get a decent amount of seedlings out of this. Just go ahead and put 2 or 3 in each. And I typically don't put mine right on top of each other. I'll spread them out just a little bit. So that way, if I do get more than one seed popping up per pellet, I'll be able to separate them a little bit and have more than one plant. So I'm going to get this planted and get my leeks planted, and then I'll show you what they look like afterwards. One quick thing I did forget to mention, when you finish planting your seeds, you want to make sure that you push the soil back on top of your peat pellets and then tamp it down or press it down very gently. These peat pellets are already pretty wet, so I'm probably not going to mist them before I put them in the grow tent. But if your peat pellets aren't super soggy, I do recommend misting everything into place, just so you can make sure that your seeds are nice and settled and have good contact with moisture. Right here we have our tray with the large leaf basil inside of our grow tent. I know the lid's a little bit foggy, but that means that it's doing its job because we want to keep that humidity in there so that the seeds will sprout. Then to the right over here, we have our tray with the leeks inside of it. So we'll be sure to give you updates when these start sprouting, and until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.